You've poured your energy into others, gone the extra mile, only to be met with indifference or, worse, disrespect. You've held the door, gone out of your way, lent your time, and received nothing but coldness or criticism. Stop for a moment. This isn't about failure. This isn't about weakness. The problem isn't your generosity. It's how, when, and to whom you give it. Stoicism teaches that true strength is measured by self-mastery, not by how much you sacrifice for others. Your kindness can either empower you or enslave you. Without clarity and boundaries, it becomes a trap, a source of resentment, exhaustion, and unnoticed effort. You don't need everyone's approval. You need discipline in your giving. Imagine a man, Alex, who never says no. He helps a colleague finish a project, picks up extra shifts, attends to every request. At first, praise flows, gratitude appears. But soon, expectation replaces appreciation. One day, Alex refuses a request, and suddenly he is the problem. Sound familiar? This is the silent cost of kindness without boundaries. Stoics call it a loss of self-governance. When your giving is dictated by fear of rejection, people take it for granted. True strength isn't in blind generosity, it's in intentional action. You decide where your energy goes, who earns it, and under what terms. Stop pouring into empty containers. Your time and effort are your power. Give strategically, give consciously, and protect your integrity. Marcus Aurelius said, "The soul becomes dyed with the color of its thoughts." Your kindness must reflect strength, not weakness. If your giving stems from guilt, fear, or the need to be liked, your soul is compromised. You are trading your dignity for temporary approval. Real Stoic kindness is a choice, not a compulsion. You act because it aligns with your values, not because someone demands it. Ask yourself before every yes, does this serve my purpose? Does it preserve my self-respect? If the answer is no, then refuse. Firmness doesn't make you unkind, it makes you disciplined. The moment you detach your worth from others' recognition, your generosity transforms from a liability into unshakable power. This is how you stop being used. Stop pretending you can satisfy everyone. It's a lie that keeps you exhausted and unnoticed. Consider Sarah, who always agrees to overtime, helps every coworker, and sacrifices personal time to keep peace. Initially, she's admired. Later, her availability becomes expected. The moment she says no, complaints start. This isn't a flaw in her kindness, it's a flaw in her approach. Stoicism teaches that strength comes from selective action, not indiscriminate sacrifice. Pleasing everyone erodes your boundaries, diminishes your energy, and breeds entitlement in others. Discipline in kindness means understanding who deserves your effort, how much, and when. Your power lies in controlled generosity. Without it, you're a doormat disguised as a saint. Hear this clearly. Setting limits does not make you selfish. It makes you strong. Kindness without boundaries invites exploitation. Think of Tom, always lending money to friends without expectation. But over time, they demand it. Every yes without a line drawn chips away at your autonomy. Stoic wisdom teaches that boundaries protect both your energy and the value of your actions. They clarify your intentions and signal to others that your generosity is earned, not assumed. Saying no is not a failure of character. It's proof of self-respect. Discipline your giving. Decide when, where, and to whom you offer it. This is how kindness becomes an instrument of power rather than a source of resentment. Stop reacting to requests automatically. Every act of generosity should be deliberate, not reflexive. Intentional kindness separates the strong from the weak. When you give because it aligns with your values, you control the outcome. When you give out of guilt, fear, or a need for approval, you surrender control to others. Consider Mia, a nurse who constantly goes beyond duty. At first, praise follows. Over time, her overcommitment becomes expected. Only when she consciously chooses to act or to step back does she reclaim her strength. Stoicism teaches your kindness must serve purpose, not obligation. You must decide who earns it, how often, and under what terms. Otherwise, your generosity is a leash, not a gift. Learn this now. A firm no is a tool, not a weapon. It preserves your energy, protects your boundaries, and commands respect. Jack, a devoted father, always puts his family first. Long hours, endless tasks, constant availability. When he finally says no, resistance rises. Yet this moment of refusal is not betrayal, it is clarity. Stoicism teaches that self-respect is the backbone of genuine kindness. You cannot serve others if you abandon yourself. Every no you issue consciously, without fear or apology, reinforces your values. It tells the world, I am not a doormat, my kindness has limits. Now master this skill, and you turn every act of giving into strength rather than vulnerability. Kindness without discipline is chaos. Compassion without structure leaves you drained and disrespected. Emily, the mother, spends all her time serving her family. At first, they appreciate her sacrifice. Over time, her availability becomes assumed. The moment she carves out time for herself, reading, yogas, rest, resistance appears. Stoicism reminds us, boundaries are not barriers, they are frameworks. They protect your mental health while maintaining genuine care for others. True kindness is a deliberate act that balances empathy with reason. When you act with clarity, generosity no longer depletes you. It reinforces your dignity. This is the art of disciplined giving, strong, purposeful, and respected. Every unguarded yes is an invitation for exploitation. Think of a friend who constantly borrows money or relies on your favors. At first, you help willingly. Soon, it becomes assumed, taken for granted. Without boundaries, your generosity becomes a treadmill, endless, exhausting, unappreciated. Stoicism teaches that strength lies in awareness and control. Your resources, time, energy, attention are finite. Protect them. Set limits respectfully but firmly. By doing so, you teach others to value your contributions and cultivate healthier, balanced relationships. Exploitation thrives where kindness is blind. Discipline your giving, and watch respect replace entitlement. Kindness is not weakness. Let that sink in. The world confuses compliance with virtue, submission with generosity. Stoicism teaches that real power lies in controlled, purposeful giving. When your kindness stems from inner conviction rather than external validation, it becomes unshakable. Imagine helping a coworker who later takes credit for your work. Painful, yes, but the value of your actions isn't determined by their recognition. It's determined by your integrity. True generosity flows from principles, not praise. When your acts are guided by values and self-awareness, they radiate authority, not vulnerability. This is how kindness transforms into strength. Ask yourself every time you act, why am I helping? What drives this kindness? If your answer is fear of judgment, obligation, or the need to be liked, your generosity is fragile. Stoicism demands self-awareness. Kindness must come from inner principles, not external pressure. When you cultivate an internal compass, every act of giving becomes intentional and empowering. It no longer depletes you or leaves you resentful. You give because it aligns with your values, not because you're coerced by expectation. The moment your kindness is independent of others' approval, it transforms into resilience, discipline, and a reflection of your moral strength. Your time, attention, and energy are your most valuable assets. Every spontaneous yes without discernment is a drain. Think of Lisa, a nurse who always goes above and beyond. Initially celebrated, eventually expected. The moment she prioritizes herself, criticism arises. Stoic wisdom teaches, protecting your energy is not selfish. It is essential. Boundaries safeguard your ability to give sustainably. Discipline ensures your generosity doesn't consume you. When you give with intention, you preserve your vitality while amplifying the impact of your actions. Your kindness should empower both you and those who receive it, not deplete your spirit. Notice this truth. Indiscriminate giving breeds expectation, not respect. Respect is earned when kindness is paired with boundaries and self-awareness. Consider Mark, who tirelessly helps his family, friends, and co-workers. At first, he's admired. Later, his willingness becomes a demand. Stoicism teaches that discipline and self-respect amplify the value of your generosity. When you give thoughtfully, deciding what, when, and to whom, you transform your actions into authority. People begin to honor your effort because it's clear it is not infinite. Controlled kindness teaches others your worth and ensures your generosity remains a force, not a liability. Discipline doesn't negate compassion, it sharpens it. True kindness is measured, intentional, and aligned with your principles. Take Emily, a mother who reserves one evening a week for herself. Initially, her family resists. Over time, they understand the value of balance. Stoicism shows that when generosity is paired with self-respect, it creates sustainable, meaningful impact. Compassion without control leads to burnout and entitlement in others. Discipline allows you to give fully, but wisely. Your energy, attention, and patience become assets rather than liabilities. Every act of kindness, when intentional, strengthens your character and inspires respect. The moment you recognize your patterns of overgiving, you reclaim power. Observe how often you say yes out of fear, guilt, or habit. Stoicism teaches that self-awareness is the foundation of disciplined kindness. When Alex noticed his generosity was being exploited at work, he paused, reflected, and recalibrated. He learned to act consciously, protecting his energy and dignity. Awareness allows you to distinguish between genuine need and entitlement. It turns giving into an act of strategy, not sacrifice. True strength arises when your kindness is a reflection of your principles, not a reaction to pressure or expectation. Saying no is not weakness, it is courage. Every time you decline a request that misaligns with your values, you reinforce your authority over your life. Consider Jack, the father who always said yes until exhaustion forced him to refuse. Resistance followed, yet his self-respect grew. Stoicism teaches that refusal, when guided by principle, is an act of integrity. Your no protects your energy, strengthens your purpose, and commands respect without anger or apology. Every thoughtful refusal is a declaration. My generosity is intentional, my kindness deliberate, and my self-worth non-negotiable. Master this skill, and you transform giving into power. Your generosity must emerge from conviction, not craving approval. When kindness depends on external validation, it becomes fragile, easily broken by ingratitude or disregard. Stoicism teaches that true giving is independent of others' reactions. Imagine helping a coworker who claims your work is their own. Painful, yes, but the value of your act isn't diminished. It exists because you chose to act rightly, not because you expected recognition. When your kindness flows from inner principles, it becomes unshakable. No betrayal, no ingratitude, no manipulation can weaken it. This is the essence of strength. Disciplined generosity that reflects your moral backbone. Generosity without strategy is wasted energy. Stoicism teaches that giving must serve both purpose and principle. Consider a friend who constantly demands favors. You can comply blindly, or you can act intentionally. Decide who deserves your effort, when it is appropriate, and how much to invest. Each act of giving should be deliberate, not reactionary. Strategic generosity protects your resources, reinforces your dignity, and transforms kindness into a form of authority. You are no longer a servant to expectation. You are a master of your actions. Discipline your giving, and your kindness becomes respected, impactful, and sustainable. Uncontrolled giving often weakens bonds. It fosters entitlement, not connection. Stoicism teaches that generosity rooted in values and boundaries strengthens relationships. When you act with clarity, others see your kindness as meaningful, not obligatory. Think of Lisa, the nurse who finally prioritized herself. Her colleagues initially resisted, but over time, they respected her choices. Intentional kindness communicates self-respect and sets a standard for others. Relationships thrive when giving is conscious, balanced, and reciprocal. Your generosity becomes a force that deepens connection rather than a tool for exploitation. Kindness is not a passive act. It can be your strongest form of personal power. Stoicism teaches that when your generosity aligns with your values and boundaries, it radiates authority. Every thoughtful act of giving signals self-mastery. You are not bending to others' expectations. You are choosing how and when to invest your energy. Even when faced with ingratitude or misuse, your strength remains intact because it is rooted in principle, not approval. By transforming kindness into intentional action, you convert compassion into a force that commands respect, elevates your influence, and reinforces your self-worth. Every act of kindness should reflect who you are and what you stand for. Stoicism teaches that giving without alignment is wasted energy. Giving with intention is transformative. Ask yourself before each act, does this reflect my values? Does this protect my energy? Does this serve a meaningful purpose? When your answer is yes, generosity becomes an expression of discipline, integrity, and inner strength. Your kindness is no longer a reaction to others' expectations. It is a conscious choice that reinforces your character. This is how you live fully, giving without losing yourself, and creating impact that commands respect. Kindness is your weapon and your armor when wielded with wisdom. Stoicism teaches that generosity paired with discipline, boundaries, and self-awareness is unstoppable. Your acts no longer depend on recognition. They flow from inner conviction. Every conscious yes and every deliberate no reinforces your strength, preserves your dignity, and inspires respect. True kindness is a reflection of your values, a testament to your character, and a source of unshakable inner power. Let your giving be purposeful, your boundaries firm, and your compassion unwavering. In a world that confuses weakness with submission, disciplined kindness is your uncompromising declaration. I give with strength, not need. If this message resonated, reflect on your own actions. Where will you start setting boundaries? Where will you choose strength over obligation? I want to hear from you. Share your experiences in the comments below. Have you ever struggled with overgiving or felt taken for granted? How will you start practicing disciplined kindness today? Your story could inspire someone else to take control of their life. If this video gave you clarity or shifted your perspective, hit the like button. It helps spread these lessons. Subscribe to Stoic Psychology for more insights that combine timeless wisdom and modern self-discipline. Share this message gently with someone who needs to reclaim their power.